Hi, this is Lisa Johnson of Rick and Lisa Becoming as One, and we have a special privilege for you today. We are sitting here with the creator of the Emancipation of Limits, Paj Turner.
Yes, because everything I write is a page turner.
And that's absolutely true.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, Lisa.
Hey.
All right.
You know what? I forgot to shout out the sponsor.
Shout out the sponsor.
The sponsor, Escape Wines, Black owned, female owned, Ramona Ferguson. Check her out. How did you meet Ramona?
Me and Ramona have known each other for years. She was or is a serious entrepreneur, right? We dated for some part-time, and I've watched her basically climb up the charts to, she's doing quite well for herself. So we partnered with this interview. I wanted to make sure, even though she's way on the top of the mountain, I want to make sure that whatever she does, I support her. And I think that having a show that is a power movement about black people, you always want to string people along, no matter how far behind that they are. So special shout out to Ramona. Thank you, and God bless you, and I'm so proud of everything you have accomplished.
Yes, all right. So let's jump into a little bit about your background.
Yes.
Because people may have seen you on social media, possibly on YouTube,
Yeah.
but there are some things that they may not know about you.
Okay.
Like used to play baseball in the alley
I
growing
did.
up.
Actually sliding on concrete with your husband.
I know.
Yeah. Tearing up our Levi's.
Yeah, yes. And so it's been a privilege for me to see you all those years. It's been 35 years.
35.
Yeah. Was I supposed to say that? Like, am I telling your age?
No, I still look good, so
Okay,
I'm good.
right.
I'm good with it, right? We can flip it backwards. I am 53 years old, and I'm proud of it. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So what is it from your background that kind of prepared you for this?
Oh, 100% military, right? So I joined the military at 19. I played college basketball at Kennedy King Junior College on my way to a game. Wrong place, wrong time, got held at gunpoint. And that was a defining moment in my life, right? So in my mind, I was the next Michael Jordan, right? That's what I wanted to be. And the universe said, no, you're not, right? So we're gonna do this thing in order to divert you over to the military. So I joined the military in 1990. I was like 19 years old. I joined the Navy. I did 8 years, and I found out that the Army was looking for sailors to cross over to the Army Warrant Officer program, procurement program. So at that point, I was an E5 promotable. I put in my packet. I was accepted, and I jumped over to the Army in 1998 as a W1. I did additional 20 years. I retired in 2019. So upon retirement, I am the first African American to reach the rank of Chief Warrant Officer 5 in the Transportation Corps since its existence of 1942. So, my name is forever in the history books of the United States military.
Yes,
So,
it's been wonderful watching you go through your career in the military and all the things that you've accomplished. Not just writing, you've done some other things, some other entrepreneurial things.
Yeah, I was trying to do some, balance several things, and I remember I called you and asked you to take a college class, and you turned me down. Turned me down like college, which was a good thing because I really needed that class, right? It was a class based on business, and that class did a lot for me to get me to this point. So thank you for turning me down.
Yes, it was my pleasure. I'm the person
sure.
that don't ask me for the answers. I'll help you figure it out, but I'm not going to give you the answer.
Awesome.
So that's great. So there aren't many books that explicitly discuss rebuilding Black Wall Street by any means necessary.
Yes.
So what inspired you to write The Emancipation of Limits from that perspective?
Well, it's two sides of it. So I'm a huge fan of the genre of The Wires, Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, and just genres like that. I was always fascinated by it. And I wanted to do something with a black movement. Because, normally when you read or see a story about someone who's, pushing drugs in the community, it's always, it's either for themselves or the people that surround them, and that's all the benefits from that type of legal means. So I wanted to kind of expand it and build a character that would do this and use this illegal means and take this money and pour it right back into the black community, right? So it's sort of a conflicting story, because you have this person who is destroying his community, but he's also building his community as well. So I think, using that genre, mixing the Black Wall Street into one is what birthed the Emancipation of Limits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it feel seeing that dream and that vision kind of coming to life and shooting this pilot?
Well, I would say it's all God, right? The book, I wrote the book because COVID hit, and the government wasn't prepared for it. So we would just, hey, stay home and we'll figure it out. So I remember watching, Power, actually, and I just was like, man, I think I can really do something like that, but have an effect for African Americans, and see what I can write that would have everybody thinking, right? And the book isn't about drugs. The book is about black people, black and brown people on the same accord, working together to make their community better, right? Everything else is really just the entertainment piece of it. But just to see it come to fruition, it's all universe, right? I wrote the book, I finished the book, and I just wanted to say, hey, I just wrote a book. Then a friend of mine said, man, this is dope, man. You might need to look to, publishing this. So, I published it. And then someone said, man, everybody needs to know about this book. So I did a book trailer with an Army buddy of mine. Shout out to Torres Medina, and we filmed it in Atlanta. So we did the, the slate, we did the auditions, the full nine. And that was my introduction to like film, right? So, the character that plays Maurice, Justin Moore, I called him the OG because he played the actual Maurice in the book trailer. So we did the book trailer in Atlanta. I put it on Facebook, and within 2 months it had 275,000 views, right?
Oh, wow.
So that really propelled the book sales. But the feedback that I got from it is, man, when the film coming out? Because it was done to the point to where when you go to a movie to see the feature and they show you the preview movies that's come out, that's how I wanted to do it. So once, I got that feedback, I was like, man, maybe I should like learn how to write a script. So everything I did is self-taught. I self-taught myself how to write a book, write a script, and I wanted to take acting classes because nobody can play the main character but me, because it's mainly about me. And I just wanted to bring it to fruition. It's nothing but God.
Yeah. So as I was reading the book, I kind of kept talking to my husband, like, I wonder how much of this is real, how much is fiction.
A lot of it is real. A lot of the characters are real. Cap, there's a real Cap. There's a real Demawi. There is a real Detective Watkins, which he's not in the pilot. So I would say probably about 80% of the characters in the book are people who I grew up with, or people who I served with. So, and it's easy when you have that many personalities, it's really easy to take that character and just build on that character from somebody that you know. But as far as, the selling of the drugs and all that stuff, I'll just keep that, whatever.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. But a lot of it is pretty accurate.
Okay. So is that what helped you write this book? I think in record time. Yes. I don't know if that's the record, but it seems like it should be a record.
Yeah, I wrote the book. It's 255 pages. I wrote it in 4 months. And as you know, as African Americans, I took every weekend off. Didn't work weekends.
Okay, so if we put the weekends back in, and we figure.
Probably about 3 months.
About 3 months. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I wrote the first 6 chapters, freestyled it, and then I wrote an outline because I kept forgetting my characters. I kept tired of going back and trying to find who was this or who was that. So, yeah.
Okay, so of course we would love for this to become a multi-season series.
Yes.
If that happens, where do you see the story going?
I think that we have so many different elements in the story and so many different worlds in it. And I think I heard one of the, one of my castmates said that each character can carry a story on its own. So, it's almost like a tree that it can go so many different directions. And I actually wrote the story to where, so it's two very important main characters, the Maui and Tech, for Richie's crew. But I wrote it so if any other character was to disappear, as long as those two are in place, the movement can move on, right? Because it's bigger than the main character, right? So I kind of figure when I look at Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, even though they were great leaders, I'm a huge fan of Malcolm X, even though he was assassinated and he transitioned, from this dimension, that movement still has to go on. So I wanted to put out that regardless of how powerful a character is, if something happens to him, we got to keep it moving. Yeah,
So in thinking about beyond the show and the audience, what would you like the impact to be?
I would like the impact to be to where a bunch of black people sit down across from each other and talk and say, how can we do this with a legitimate mean, right? And I think, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. We as black people all know what we're facing, right? We know that the cards are stacked against us. We understand what racism is. We know why we're in projects. We all know this knowledge. So we all have this knowledge. Why isn't things changing, right? Because it's just a conversation. And I think that we're so spread apart and we're so divided, not only by, light skin, dark skin, by Mason, by Islam, by sorority, by fraternity. We have so many different pockets of black organizations. And what you do, you hook your buddy up, right? Because they're next to you. And I think that's really dividing us. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with these organizations, because we do need these organizations, but I think that we need to come together as a whole instead of individual sections. And I think that we'll move much faster.
Yeah, and that's a great idea. Maybe they can come together and have some discussion groups once you're out.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
that would be awesome. Okay, so thinking about your cast members.
Yes.
Which cast member brought the most fire to their role?
Damn.
I know that's hard to say.
Yeah, they're probably looking right now.
Yeah.
So I would have to say Misty, the Maui. She's phenomenal, right? I think that she just has layers of dimensions that she can tap into. And being in the scene with her can be quite intimidating because she's very, she has a very grand and a very, her energy is just, it's full and it's powerful. And it could be intimidating, but I think that she's just, man, she's just dope. There's nothing else that I can really say. She's just dope. Honorable mentions are G. Rodney, Maya. I can name all of the main cast because I learned from each and every one of them. And all of them been acting, far longer than I have. So I'm also a fan and a student of what they bring to the table. So, but I would definitely have to give it to Misty, but the Kanitas, the Heartbreaks, the Swans, the Justin Moores, and the cast is just incredible, right? And because they had a incredible person that cast them.
Of course. Can you think of one moment in the pilot that kind of captures the essence of what the show is about?
I would definitely have to say the opening scene between the mayor and my character. I think it really set the tone that sometimes us as African Americans, we sit back and wait for politicians to do something for us, right? So we'll hear them talk, and they'll say, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to give you $1,200 to go to school, and we are, yeah. And we pow, and we vote, and nothing happens, right? So sometimes it takes someone outside of politics in order to take the movement and move it forward.
Do you feel like being from Chicago, which is such a politicized if that's a word,
Mm-hmm.
politicized city.
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of fed into the story?
100%. We know where Chicago is when it comes to politics. We know where Chicago is when it comes to policing. And I think the story, and even in the series, is really going to highlight all that stuff. And I even brought in a terrorist element to match with the military background that Richie and his crew have. So, you know, the story is a Chicago story. Even though I left here when I was 19 to join the military, this is my home, this is my roots, and this is where, you know, my people are. So every story that I do will be in Chicago. I think Chicago is the next big hub to blow up after LA, New York. Atlanta's blowing up. Tennessee is actually blowing up. South Carolina is starting to blow up in the film industry. But I think Chicago has such a beautiful landscape. And being military, I've been all over the world, and there is not a better downtown than Chicago. So, sorry, New York.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, I would like to bring in your assistant director.
Well, you can come in for a minute, then we'll talk a little bit some more.
Let's talk to the assistant director.
Come on, Alan, bring it on in here.
We're back, and we're going to get a chance to meet the assistant director. But before that, we want to again thank our sponsor, Escape Wines, Black-owned, female-owned, Ramona Ferguson. Check them out. Okay, Alan, now you have a interesting last name, and I don't want to kill it. Please say your last name for me.
Dorsonville.
Dorsonville.
Yes.
Okay, that is a last name that has to be famous at some point in your life. So I just want to say that to you. All right. So, Alan, what has your career been in terms of directing?
Oh, well, that's actually very interesting. So, as far as directing goes, I've been fairly new to this as far as the film industry goes, but it started out here in Chicago. So I think it's really appropriate that I came back for this project to be here and that the story takes place in the city, because this is really where I kind of built my foundation for directing. I learned from a lot of people here, and so I'm continuing to learn from a lot of people here, and I think that this city, like Rich said, will eventually become one of the biggest film cities in the country.
So how did you guys meet?
I met him through my producer, Caprice Williams, who couldn't be here today. And I was like, you know, I'm the first-time director, so I'm going to give you a strong assistant director. She told me about Alan. We had a Zoom call. I asked him a series of questions. I knew immediately that he was an educated man, right? He's very articulate when he expressing himself, and he can be kind of political too, right? He would never hurt your feelings with anything, but he'll put it in a way if you don't understand what he's saying, that he's actually hurting your feelings, right? But he is he's a great guy, and I told him, man, you're a gentleman and a scholar, and any project that I am doing, I would like for him to be a part of it.
Yes, and we got a chance to kind of see him in action a little bit, and I'm not used to seeing you kind of defer to people, but Alan was kind of giving instructions, and you were going to him, and I saw the dynamic. It was wonderful.
Well, you know, coming from the military, the people that knows the most is probably the lower enlisted. And sometimes officers don't like learning from enlisted because they're beneath me, right? Not me. Yeah, I learn from anybody. So Alan was great. He'll be like, Paige, say action. Oh, action. So he was really great guy.
And what was it that attracted you to the project, Alan?
Well, I think the story overall was just simply amazing. You know, I think right away it kind of caught me with the kind of gripping introduction and really just the world building of it itself, having so many different elements, not to spoil anything, but having all these different parties coming together and all centralizing around this character, Richie. It just showed me that there was potential for a lot with this story to go many different directions and to really take it into like territory that we don't really see in a lot of media today. Like a lot of these shows nowadays are so shallow. They don't really do a lot, but this story I could tell just from reading just the pilot that there was a lot to really dig deep into. So I thought that this was going to be a really fun and amazing project to be a part of.
Yeah, so that kind of goes into the next question I was thinking about for you. What excited you about the outcome of this project?
I think, you know, for me, what really interests me about film is the fact that it has the power to really inspire people, but also it's a way to kind of create a new idea and put a new idea out in the world. Although it's being presented as entertainment, this idea of building a Black Wall Street the way that the character Rich does in the story, I think is going to let people know like there's more than one way to kind of rebuild Black Wall Street or to empower the Black community. I think right now we have very limited examples, but you know, media has been a very powerful tool for presenting new ideas to the public. So I'm really excited to see people really take this into their own hands and kind of embody it, if you will.
So just thinking about all of the scenes that you've done, do you have like one shot or sequence that you're most proud of?
So this is probably going to be surprising because there's so many different shots and sequences, but because I just really appreciate comedy too, and I think that this story has so many dramatic elements, action elements, heavy elements, that sometimes that comedic relief is really necessary to kind of provide that balance and relief. So I do think that the scenes with the detectives were quite amusing, and I think a lot of folks are also going to find it amusing, and I think it also just goes to show there's a complete range of things that we cover in the story. We have a little bit of everything, and I think, you know, the lead actor, the lead detective, Cole, played by Steven Strickland, he was just simply,
awesome.
you know, he was awesome. You know, he just added his own lines, and it was just like a joy to watch. So I really enjoyed that sequence.
Okay, I look forward to it. We didn't get a chance to see him in action,
Oh,
so I
hilarious,
look forward to
man.
it.
The guy's a
Oh,
class,
wow.
as a class act.
Yeah,
Class act.
wonderful. Okay, so again, Alan, I guess this may be along the same lines of this last question. What was your biggest hell yes moment in shooting this pilot? Like where you knew it was all coming together perfectly?
I would say our biggest hell yes moment, although it may seem cliche, is the last shot of the pilot. Now, because of film, you know, we shot it very early into production, but I think that also gave me an idea about if this is the point we're going to be ending on, we're ending on a strong note. So I think that was the moment. It came very early on. It was a very long day, but we got everything we needed before we had to go, and I felt very confident that this was going to be a hit.
Okay, so everything's done. All the shots are done.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Okay, so then if you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice before starting the project, what would it be? And both of you could answer that. Yeah.
If I could go back and give myself one piece of advice, you know, I would say to be more in the moment, because the thing is, you do so much, and you know, these are very long days, and as an assistant director, my job is to make sure that everything is happening and according to schedule, and we're keeping things on track. And there's a number of different things that are coming up that it's grabbing your attention. And so I think because of that, it can be really hard to enjoy yourself and be in the moment, because what we're doing right now is we're really kind of creating the beginning of what I think is going to be like a very big project and a very big, you know, successful endeavor. So I think, you know, I would tell myself, as much as you have to do and as many things you have to take care of, try to enjoy it every single moment a little bit more.
For me, I would have to say, because this is my first project that I have, you know, created, directed, of course, acted in it, be fluid, right? And I went in knowing that how I wrote things and how I wanted things to be and how I wanted my site locations to be is not always going to be like that, right? So I kind of went in with that mindset, and sure and behold, right, things changed within hours of them was supposed to happen. And I was warned, and I think I was able to, with a little bit of like, why, how come, what's going on, and why is this, and why are we still here? I think I adjusted pretty well and say, okay, let's cut this, we can add this. And I'm very creative, so it's nothing for me to go, and I sit and think, and I can change the whole scene and still get to the end zone of what I want. So I would definitely say, be fluid.
Okay. Okay. And here is the question that I think any creative person would love to experience. If you had an unlimited budget and total creative freedom, which you do as the writer, of course.
Right now.
What's one thing you'd love to bring to future episodes?
I'll let you go.
Well, I think that this story is as connected to Chicago as anything else. So I think just having the budget to be able to really highlight a lot of these Chicago staples, if you will, and really take advantage of the amazing locations that we have all throughout the city, I think that would definitely be one of the things, and perhaps even including a couple Chicago legends here and there as cameos or whatnot.
I definitely would echo that. To be able to film inside the architecture of the Chicago buildings. It's just beautiful. And being able to shoot that would be really awesome. And even for the pilot, we was in some pretty cool locations that a lot of independent filmmakers either don't know how to get into the locations or they can't, the budget doesn't support it. But I think because of what I have done in the past and for whatever reason for me to just have this, you know, these funds for whatever, it just happened that, you know, I was able to get into some pretty cool places.
Okay.
So with an unlimited budget, man, that would just do wonders for the productions. But we are people who make something out of nothing. So regardless of the budget, we're gonna get it done.
Would you say it was a mixture of maybe some street cred or just some favor from God? And
God,
get it done?
1000%, right? Because one of the sites I gave up on, we're never getting that, right? And then Caprice came in and was like, we got it. And I was like, you kidding? And yeah, so it's all give and take, you know, what you can do and then what you can't. But, you know, I like where we at. I love the cast. I love the crew. And like I said in my speech, they're the EOL family now. And I mean that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So I want to ask a question about the story. It's about power, legal and illegal. So Alan, how did you use lighting or the camera angles to kind of bring that out visually?
Great question. And I really think that, you know, you'll see it throughout the different scenes. And I think what you'll see is you'll see different characters in different settings and different positions being lit differently and having different angles on them. So the way we shot the politicians, like, you know, Mayor Davis and Vice Mayor Ford, is going to be very different from the shots you'll see of Richie and his crew, which I think also poses a very interesting contrast to how we see the H2H crew. So you'll see all these different groups have their own different set of lighting and angles and whatnot, and you'll see that all of the environments and everything really adds character and really fleshes out what they represent.
Special shout out to John Blaze and Asa, man. They did excellent job. Drove all the way from Texas to come down here and help with production, man. I salute you, brothers. I appreciate it, and looking forward to working with you guys with many more episodes. Yeah.
Was there something else in the story that you connected to, or the vision for where the series is going to go that you would like to share?
I think for me, the thing is that Richie's character just really represents what I think is a more authentic, realistic character. And I think, you know, we see so many examples of Black leaders, but I think we don't really see characters like Richie who can really embody both dark and light elements. And I think we always have this idea that we have to always play 100% into the light. But I think, you know, history and reality shows us that there have been times where people have used things like Richie does to really create good for their own community. And so I think it just presents an example of how the real world works, which I think adds to like the grittiness and the rawness of the show itself. And I think it also just shows how, you know, we can empower ourselves using whatever we have. So Richie uses his military background to empower himself and to create a structure and an organization that he can use to now execute his vision. And so I think it just shows everyone, like, whatever your background is, use that to your advantage and find a way to create a change in your community.
So I'm thinking as you're talking, you know how one of my favorite, I guess he's a director or producer, Quentin Tarantino?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and how he peeks out from behind the camera and do you ever see yourself doing that?
You know,
From in front of the camera.
I think this project actually opened me up to the possibility for the very first time of actually wanting to be on camera. And though I will certainly not put myself in a highly dramatic role, I understand my limits. But I definitely think that what Rich showed me is that, you know, you got to take a chance on yourself sometimes, and you got to really put yourself out there. So I think I would definitely take that chance now. So thank you, Rich.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming, man.
Yes.
Awesome.
Alan, if this goes on for multiple seasons, Alan, would you like to continue in your role?
Oh, absolutely. 1000%. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Would you like to see any expand in it, or do you feel like what you're doing now is like the ultimate of what you can contribute?
Well, I think, you know, as the assistant director, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with this role, but I really enjoy the challenges that it comes with. And this is really kind of like what I feel like I excel at. So I think I would feel very much comfortable kind of performing in this role. I'm someone that likes to kind of be a team player, and so the place where I think I can contribute the most would be as an assistant director or something in the director's department.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alan, for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you, Paj Turner,
All right.
for sitting here talking with us. Is there anything that you would like to share as we kind of wrap this up?
I would let Alan give his last, and then I want to spend the last however many minutes I have addressing the cast and crew.
Okay.
I would just like to say that this was an amazing project. I'm very much excited now to actually read the book series to see what else is to come. I was holding back on reading anything until I finished this project, but you know, I will say, like, I'm not just a part of this project, I'm also a fan of it in terms of the story and the material itself. So I'm definitely just looking forward to reading more about it and seeing it come onto the big screen.
So we got a few more minutes to sit with you, and
Yes.
we want to hear your thoughts about the crew, the project, whatever it is you'd like to share.
Man, you might have to get some tissue. You know, you get a bunch of people who believe in your vision, and they didn't know me from Adam. And I'm talking about the project and how big it is and the energy that I'm bringing to it. And they all jumped on board, flying all over America to support you. Talented actors, and even people who are like trying to head to that stratosphere to be something. Bigg Jah, you know, he has the, you know, season 4 lesbian homie, didn't know me for a scratch. And I went through him through a young lady by the name of Tiffany Oglesby, who's playing Gina. And she connected me to him. I met her back in 2021 at a fight, and we connected, and I asked her to connect me to Jah. And he reached out to me, his management team reached out to me, I gave him the spiel, and I talked to him on the phone, and he said, man, I'll do it because it's a dope, I love your energy, and his performance was just outstanding. Tiffany performance, outstanding. So I would have to say to the Misties, the Amayas, the Kanitas, the G. Rodneys, the Swans, the Justin Moores, the Christopher Pascal, the you know, just so many and so more. I can't even think right now because I'm being emotional. So, oh, man, thank you. Thank you for believing in me, in my vision. And like I said, this will get picked up. We will bring Emancipation of Limits to all of the living rooms in America. And you're family now. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for sacrificing. You know, they came here out of love, right? And it's like, hey, man, the budget is going to the site locations and getting us to and from. I need you guys to like help me get this out the mud, and they did it. No complaints as far as I can hear. And I just want to say that, you know, when you have people that's in your corner, that's pushing you to greatness and want to see this thing go to fruition, there is nothing like a better feeling than knowing that a bunch of melanated, Caucasian, just human beings in general just want to see you win. And that motivates me to ensure that I am in a position to help you take care of your families, to help you move forward and do whatever it is that you need to do while we're here on this earth. So, man, I love you all. Thank you so much for supporting me, and I promise I got you. I got you. You're in the car with me now. Let's take this journey together. Lisa, thank you. Thank
pleasure.
you for the interviews. You know I love you. You're my sister. I've been knowing you for 30-something years. And your husband over there, Rick, I've been knowing him ever since I was 8 years old. Thank you, dude. I love you, man. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
And there's nothing more to say. So we're going to wrap here again. If you want more, and I can't understand why you wouldn't, connect with Paj Turner on all the social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, for more.
Yes,
Yes.
A.Paj Turner. And special shout out to Escape Wines. She bought this out the mud, y'all. Black woman, got her own wine company. Go to www.ezcape.com. She's rebuilding her website right now. Hey, give her a shout out, man, because she can do a lot of things for us. She just need that wind behind her, right? So support it. She got like 6 or 7 different flavors. I'm a Moscato person myself, but she has a lot of flavors, and just support the wine and support Black people. Emancipation of Limits, the new Black Wall Street 2020, one team, one fight, Black power, Black movement. Signing out.
Thank you.